Welcome to Core for Math, and this time we are given one solution of a polynomial equation, and we are supposed to find the remaining two solutions. In this case, we are given -2. Now what we have here, because we are supposed to use synthetic division, first of all, we make sure that the given expression here, or the given polynomial, is in descending order. So notice that here we have -x cubed, we have x squared, we have the term containing x, we have the constant term, and we have is equated to 0. So that one is good. So you start by writing -2 outside here, and then you put the coefficient. Coefficient of x cubed is -1, coefficient of x squared is 14, coefficient of x is -32, and the constant term is -128. So all you have to do, drop this -1 down here, and once you do that, you multiply -1 by -2, you get +2. You add 14 and 2, you get 16. Then you multiply 16 by -2, you get, that is -32. And then you add these together, you get -64. Then -64 times -2, that is +128. And then -128 plus 128, you get 0. So since the remainder is 0, that confirms that our -2 is actually a solution. Now what we end up with, these are the coefficients of a quadratic equation. They are the coefficients. So this one now becomes the coefficient of x squared, that -1, and 16 becomes the coefficient of x. So this quadratic equation is -x squared plus 16x minus 64 equal to 0. So we need to solve this in order to find the remaining two solutions. Now in this case, most of the time, we usually make sure that the coefficient of x squared is a positive. And since here we have is negative, we multiply all through by -1. So when you do that, you're going to get x squared minus 16x, and then -64 times -1, you get +64, and you equate this to 0. By looking at this, we already see that this is a perfect square trinomial, because this 64, how do we get this 64? We find a half of -16 and you square. You take -16 and you divide it by 2. If you take -16, and you divide by 2, you're going to get -8. If you take -8 and you square it, you're going to get +64. So when you factorize this, you're going to get it as simply x minus 8 squared equals to 0, which means it is like x minus 8 times x minus 8 equals to 0. So apply the zero product property, x minus 8 is 0. And since this is the same, we don't have to do it twice. So that will be adding 8 both sides, and you get x equals to 8. So the remaining solution is 8. But what does it mean? It is 8 repeated twice, because we also have another x minus 8 equals to 0 here. So if you add 8 both sides, you get x equals to 8. So here we have a solution which has a multiplicity of 2. So the solutions are x equals to -2 and 8, but this 8 has a multiplicity of 2. Multiplicity of 2. What does that mean? It means that this particular solution, the function touches x-axis at 8, but does not cross the x-axis. So that's one solution repeated twice. So those are the solutions, and you're done with that.